Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Autocar India Quick News, your weekly update on all the big launches, all the hot scoops and all the news in the world of automobiles. But before we begin the news this week, here's wishing all you viewers a very happy new year. But before we begin, do remember to hit the subscribe button and the bell icon to stay updated on all our latest videos. Now, one of the biggest upcoming launches will of course be the new Tata Altroz. Now, the premium hatchback will take on the likes of the Maruti Suzuki Baleno and the Hyundai i20, and now we know exactly on what date it will be launched. The Tata Altroz will be launched on January 22nd, 2020, with deliveries beginning mid-February. The new hatchback, based on Tata's Alpha platform, will be priced between 5 and 8 lakhs ex-showroom and will come with the BS6 compliant petrol and diesel engines. Both engines will get a manual gearbox for now, with the dual clutch auto being offered on the petrol engine in the near future. For more details, check out our review of the Altroz on our website and our YouTube channel. And sticking with Tata Motors, the automaker is also set to launch 12 new cars based on the Alpha and Omega platforms in the next 4 years. Apart from the new Altroz, new cars on the Alpha platform will include the likes of the new H2X or Hornbill SUV. There could also be a Honda City and a Maruti Suzuki Dzire rival in the works, and of course the replacement for the Tiago, Tigor and a new EV based on this platform. There could also be a Creta rivaling SUV, although that could also be built on a shared platform with Chinese automaker and JLR partner Chery. The larger Omega platform, on the other hand, shared with Land Rover, will of course have the 7-seater Gravitas SUV slated to be launched soon, and a new coupe-styled SUV and an Innova-sized MPV, which will be the replacement for the Hexa. Kia had launched the Seltos last year with introductory pricing, and in line with its plans to hike prices in the new year, the SUV is now more expensive. Prices for the petrol have been increased by between 20,000 and 30,000 rupees, with the cheapest variant now priced at 9,89,000 rupees, while the most expensive petrol-powered Seltos in the GTX Plus automatic trim is priced at 17,29,000 rupees. Prices for all diesel variants, on the other hand, have been increased by 35,000 rupees, with the most expensive diesel, the GTX Plus automatic, now priced at 17,34,000 rupees. Now, 2020 will be a major year for Renault India. Later this year, it will launch the HBC compact SUV in India. The HBC SUV will be launched in India in the second half of 2020 and will be based on the same CMF-A platform that underpins the Triber. In fact, the SUV will borrow heavily from the Triber, but will have its distinct upright stance that an SUV is expected to have. Under the hood, the HBC SUV will feature a 1-litre turbo petrol engine that will make close to 95 horsepower. Incidentally, this same engine will be offered first in the Triber and should be available in the 7-seat MPV by March 2020. Mercedes-Benz is now evaluating whether to bring in the Mercedes Maybach GLS, which of course is its flagship luxury SUV, to India. Considering the fact that the Mercedes Maybach S-Class, which incidentally is also assembled in India in the S500 spec, has had great reception from Indian buyers, Mercedes-Benz India is now actively considering bringing the GLS Maybach to India too. The 4-seat luxury SUV is expected to be brought to India as a CBU under the 2500 unit import rule and thus will not require homologation. The SUV will take on the likes of other luxury SUVs like the top-spec Range Rovers and the Bentley Bentayga. As with every week, there's a fair bit of news this week about cars being upgraded across the board to BS6. Let's start this week with Honda. A few weeks ago, we brought you prices for the BS6 Honda City Petrol, and now we can confirm that the current City in its diesel avatar will not be upgraded to BS6. The current generation City diesel will continue to get the BS4 engine until the March 31st, 2020 deadline, while the next gen City diesel will in turn get the BS6 spec diesel motor. The new generation Honda City will also get a 1.5 litre petrol with a mild hybrid technology that will be launched in India in mid-2020. Let's move on to BS6 news from Toyota now, and last week we brought you all the details and the prices for the upgraded BS6 version of the Yaris, and this week we bring you information on the BS6 versions of the Innova and the Fortuner. The updated Innova and Fortuner will adopt an SCR or a selective catalytic reduction tech combined with a DPF or diesel particulate filter to meet BS6 emission norms. While the UVs can be booked for 50,000 rupees now, the deliveries for these will start by late February as Toyota wants to ensure BS6 fuel availability across the country. Prices on both are expected to go up by about 1 to 1.5 lakh rupees depending on variants. Post BS6, the Innova and the Fortuner will be the only two cars from the Toyota lineup that will get diesel engines. And keeping with that BS6 theme, Hyundai will soon launch a BS6 version of the Santro. The car will still continue to make the same 69 horsepower and 99 Newton meters of torque in the BS6 tune, the same as was in the BS4 model. However, to boost sales across the board, Hyundai will offer the AMT model or the automatic across all variants and not just the mid variants that are being offered right now. Moving on to Mahindra now, and BS6 versions of the XUV 500 and the Marazzo are coming soon. The Mahindra XUV 500's 2.2-litre diesel will soon get a BS6 upgrade with the addition of an SCR or a selective catalytic reduction system and a DPF or a diesel particulate filter. The engine is expected to continue to make 155 horsepower. However, the updated XUV 500 will only be available for the time being with a 6-speed manual gearbox, as Mahindra is slated to drop the automatic. Of course, this update will only be a stopgap arrangement, as there is an all-new XUV 500 expected to make its debut sometime later this year. The Marazzo BS6 will also get an updated version of the 1.5-litre diesel with the SCR and the DPF. The MPV's engine will continue to make the same 123 horsepower and will continue to get a 6-speed manual with an automatic planned for later this year. The Marazzo will get a slight rejig in variants, with the top spec M8 reportedly being dropped and the M6 Plus getting additional features instead. Expect both UVs to get a substantial bump in prices. Let's get on to two wheels now, and first up it's Java. Now, Java as a brand has been very popular, and the standard Java also won the Viewer's Choice Bike of the Year at the 2020 Autocar Awards, but the one that everybody has been waiting for is the factory bobber style called the Perak. And now, bookings for the Perak have officially opened. Bookings for the Java Perak opened on the 1st of January 2019, and the bike can be booked online or via a dealer. Priced at 1,95,000 rupees ex-showroom Delhi, this is the most affordable factory-made bobber in the country. The bobber-like styling elements include a floating seat, bar-end mirrors, chopped fenders, and a stubby exhaust muffler, along with a blacked-out theme overall. The rear subframe and suspension setup is also different compared to the smaller Java bikes. The Perak also gets ABS-equipped disc brakes at either end. On to some exclusive news from KTM now, and a bike that a lot of people have been eagerly waiting for, especially for Indian riding conditions. It's the KTM 790 Adventure. The KTM 790 Adventure will be launched in India in late 2020 and will be more expensive as compared to the 790 Duke. However, considering the fact that the Duke is currently a CBU and that KTM are working towards making both these bikes in India, the increase in the level of localization could mean a big drop in prices. Powering the 790 Adventure is a 799cc parallel twin engine that makes 94 horsepower and 88 Newton meters of torque. The bike weighs only 189 kilos and gets 200 mm of suspension travel at both ends, along with a massive ground clearance figure of 233 mm. Now, Husqvarna, which of course is a subsidiary of KTM, showcased a couple of 250cc motorcycles at the 2019 India Bike Week, and now we have some exclusive news about the bigger 400cc Husqvarnas, which will make their way into India in the near future. Both the Husqvarna Svartpilen 401 and the Vitpilen 401 will make it to India in mid-2021 and will be based on the same platform that currently underpins the KTM 390 Duke. The Vitpilen 401 gets a neo-retro cafe racer style styling, while the Svartpilen 401 is styled like a scrambler. Both bikes get an LED headlamp and DRLs, while the single-pod instrument cluster is an all-digital unit with Bluetooth connectivity. For more information, visit autocarindia.com. And that's all we have time for this week. As always, do remember to leave your opinions in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next week.